Oromo Legacy.
Oromo Legacy. Africa's infinite circle of democracy, wisdom, and civilization. What if one of the world's oldest democratic systems was not born in Europe, but beneath an African tree? What if a civilization had already mastered peaceful leadership transitions centuries before modern democracy emerged? What if the answers to justice, sustainability, unity, and coexistence have been hidden for generations in the highlands of the Horn of Africa? This is not a forgotten myth. This is the living legacy of the Oromo people. From the sacred Oda tree, to the democratic wisdom of Gadaa, from the stars studied by Oromo astronomers, to the spiritual philosophy of Safuu. This documentary will take you deep into one of Africa's greatest civilizations, a people whose wisdom continues to shape the future. Stay with us until the end, because the story you are about to hear may completely change how you see Africa, democracy, and humanity itself. Before we begin, subscribe to Africa Press for powerful African stories, history, culture, and untold civilizations from across the continent. Like this video, share it with others, and tell us in the comments. What part of Oromo civilization inspires you the most? Your support helps us preserve and share African knowledge with the world. Now, let us journey into the infinite circle. This is the Oromo Legacy. History is often written by those who conquer lands. But the truest history, the one that survives the rise and fall of empires, is preserved by those who master the art of living together. In the vast emerald highlands of the Horn of Africa, where mist embraces the Bale Mountains and the wind carries the scent of wild coffee, a civilization has endured for millennia. This is the homeland of the Oromo people. With a population numbering in the tens of millions, the Oromo are among the largest peoples in Africa. Yet their true greatness is not measured by numbers alone, but by wisdom. They are custodians of an indigenous philosophy so profound that it challenges modern ideas of democracy, justice, governance, and humanity's relationship with nature itself. To understand the Oromo is to understand the infinite circle, a civilization rooted in balance, dignity, and continuity. It is the story of a people who envisioned the future beneath the shade of a sacred tree and built a society where the law stood above any king. Today, we journey into that legacy. This is the history, the spirit, and the enduring brilliance of the Oromo people. Long before the Magna Carta was signed in England, and centuries before the French Revolution reshaped Europe, the Oromo people had already established a sophisticated system of governance designed to prevent tyranny. They called it Gadaa. Gadaa is far more than a political system. It is a masterpiece of social organization and democratic philosophy. Society is structured into carefully ordered 8-year cycles, where every individual understands their role, responsibility, and rights from birth. In the Gadaa system, power is never permanent. Leadership is a temporary trust bestowed by the people. Every 8 years, authority peacefully transitions through the sacred Bali ceremony. The outgoing leaders hand over responsibility to the next generation without violence, without civil war, and without bloodshed. The Abu Gadaa, the elected leader, serves for a limited term before returning to ordinary community life as a respected elder, carrying no weapon except wisdom and experience. The system also recognized the importance of balance between genders. Through the Siki institution, Oromo women held a respected social authority that safeguarded justice, dignity, and harmony within society. It created a powerful system of checks and balances that honored the value of every human being. Today, UNESCO recognizes the Gadaa system not merely as a historical relic, but as a living heritage and one of humanity's most remarkable indigenous democratic traditions. For the Oromo, knowledge was never confined to books or monuments. It was written into the earth itself and reflected in the heavens above. Across generations, the Oromo became master architects of their environment. In the southern drylands, the Borana and Guji Oromo developed extraordinary expertise in hydrology, ecology, and seasonal migration. They engineered deep well water systems capable of sustaining communities and vast cattle populations through devastating droughts. Their pastoral traditions reflected not exploitation of nature, but partnership with it. Cattle symbolized more than wealth. They represented life, responsibility, and the sacred bond between humanity and the natural world. In the western forests, the Oromo gifted humanity one of its greatest treasures, coffee. Yet for the Oromo, Buna is more than a beverage. The coffee ceremony is a ritual of peace, hospitality, and reconciliation. It is where communities gather to resolve conflict, strengthen relationships, and share blessings. At the heart of Oromo philosophy lies the principle of Naga Shannon, the 5 pieces: peace within oneself, peace within the family, peace within the community, peace with livestock, and peace with the land. To cultivate the soil was an act of gratitude. To harvest was an act of thanksgiving. If Gadaa forms the structure of Oromo civilization, then Safuu is its soul. Safuu is not simply a moral code. It is the cosmic order that governs relationships between people, nature, and the Creator. It is the inner compass that defines respect between youth and elders, responsibility toward the environment, and the boundaries that preserve harmony in society. To violate Safuu is not merely to break a rule, it is to disturb the balance of life itself. And when conflict arises, the Oromo seek not revenge, but restoration. Through Jarsuma, the Council of Elders, disputes are resolved through wisdom, dialogue, and reconciliation. The goal is never simply to determine a winner or a loser. The goal is Arara, restoring harmony and cooling wounded hearts. The Oromo understand a timeless truth. A society is only as strong as the relationships that hold it together. For centuries, Oromo history survived not through written manuscripts, but through the power of memory and voice. Through Girza, the heroic oral poetry tradition, and Widu, the songs of the people, history was carried from one generation to the next. Poets and storytellers became living libraries. They preserved genealogies stretching back centuries. They sang of courage, migration, sacrifice, love, and wisdom. Every song carried knowledge, every proverb carried protection, yet Oromo intellectual achievement extended even beyond the earth, to the stars themselves. The Ayantu, the Oromo astronomers and timekeepers, developed one of the world's most sophisticated indigenous lunar stellar calendars. By observing the movement of stars alongside the moon, they accurately predicted seasonal changes and organized ceremonial cycles with remarkable precision. It stands as evidence of an African scientific tradition that was both spiritually profound and mathematically exact. The Oromo people have endured the storms of history. They have faced periods of marginalization, displacement, and struggle. Yet like the great Oda tree, their roots only grew deeper. Today, a cultural renaissance is unfolding. We witness it in world-renowned athletes whose endurance echoes the strength of their ancestors who crossed mountains and valleys across the Horn of Africa. We see it in scholars, artists, entrepreneurs, and innovators carrying Afan Oromo, one of Africa's most widely spoken languages, into the digital age. The Irecha festival, where millions gather dressed in white, carrying green grasses and flowers beside sacred waters, has become more than a harvest celebration. It is a declaration of identity, unity, gratitude, and survival. It reminds the world that Oromo civilization is not a forgotten chapter of history. It is a living force shaping the future. The wisdom of the Oda tree, the democracy of Gada, the ethics of Safuu, these are not only Oromo treasures. They are Africa's gifts to humanity. As the modern world searches for models of justice, sustainability, and peaceful coexistence, it may discover that some of the answers have long existed beneath the African sky. The circle is infinite, the legacy lives on. I am your narrator, for Africa Press. This is the Oromo Legacy.